Well, good morning, everyone. This is Deacon Don LaRose from Holy Family Church, bringing you a short reflection for the new year. And so, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Here we are in the very beginning of 2025. You know, when I would think about the future, the long-term future, when I was younger, back in the 1900s, I would think about what kind of inventions there would be that we would have, and what kinds of what would life be like. And interestingly, I think so many of the things that we used to imagine have actually come true, and some serious things, some silly things. But, there was a cartoon, The Jetsons, some of you may remember. And, the way they lived in the future on the Jetsons. And they had things like when they would talk on the telephone, instead of just talking with sound only, like we used to do, they had video as well, like a TV, basically. And of course, we have that now, right, with FaceTime and Zoom. And on that show, when someone didn't like the way their hair looked or something and they're going to be on screen, they would hold up a little placard, a little cutout of themselves so that people couldn't see how they really looked. And we have that as well on Zoom. If you don't like the background, you can change it to a different background. And so some of these things that we imagined have come true. On that show, they got around not by driving cars in the ground, but in flying cars. And that always seemed like one of the real stake in the ground of future inventions. We'd all have in flying cars. Lo and behold, we now have something similar. We have what we call drones. And as I understand, there's some drones now that are the size of SUVs that were flying around New Jersey, big enough to hold people. And so I guess maybe the future's arrived. And on other futuristic shows, Star Trek, with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, when they wanted a meal, they didn't show it too often, but they go into the cafeteria and there'd be a little door, like a little window sort of. They push a button, and the meal they wanted would just slide out, ready to go instantly. We have that as well, pretty much. I mean, that was before, that show was made before microwave ovens really were available. And so, now we have microwave ovens that can give us a meal ready to eat in just moments. We have things like DoorDash, of course. We can get food from almost anywhere, delivered right to our house. When Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock had a question about something that they were troubled by, they could talk to the computer. And so they wouldn't have to type it into a computer. They'd talk to the computer, and the computer would respond, talking to them with the answer. And of course, we have that now as well, right? We talk to Siri and so on, and we can get responses. We are living in the future. Thanks to Google and other search engines like Google, we now have access to basically all the world's information instantly in our hand, with our cell phone. If you want to know anything, basically anything that's known to man to a large extent, you can find right on your phone. Think, what's the distance between Earth and Mars in feet? Boom, you have it. Who was the King of England in 1725? Boom, you have it. Who won the Oscars for Best Picture, in 1987? Boom, you got it. So we have access to almost all information. It's really pretty amazing. All of our modern technologies, including transportation, distribution of products, electricity, refrigeration, just to name a few, they've really provided with humans on this planet with the best standard of living by far in all of human history. In fact, the average person living in the United States has access to more comforts and quality of life than the most powerful ancient kings, emperors, or pharaohs of long past. Anyone in the country can walk into a grocery store, just about every grocery store in America, and find more varieties and selection of fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, desserts, medicines than any of the wealthiest people in the ancient world. These are all benefits of technology, of course. So humans have developed over the last 1,000 years or several thousand years of accumulated knowledge that, things built on other discoveries and inventions of the past. Of course, as I'm even saying this, I'm recording this on my iPhone, and it'll be sent via email and so on to everyone. So the benefits are huge of technology. However, with all technologies, there can be drawbacks that go along with the benefits. When life becomes so easy, we can become lazy. At least I can speak for myself. I used to wonder how on the Jetsons they would control flying cars with no, stoplights and no roads to follow. And I think we're even seeing that in New Jersey, right, with the drones. How do you control some of these inventions that we have? On the movie in the movie Jurassic Park, there was a character that Jeff Goldblum played, and one of the things he said about science and inventions and technology really strikes true. I think in one scene he said to the creator of Jurassic Park in the movie, he said, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should. Could they develop it? Could we invent this? Could we invent that?" And so on, without ever stopping sometimes to say, "Should we do this?" That question may apply to some of the newer technologies that we see coming out now. Artificial intelligence. We're really enjoying and loving and running down the road very fast about what we can do. We aren't stopping maybe to say, should we be doing this? There's other technologies like self-driving cars. Could be kind of fun, neat technology, but there are some dangers to it too, at least to me, in my sense. From what I've seen in a commercial, for self-driving cars, looks like one of the primary benefits is we can kind of sit and clap our hands as we drive instead of holding onto the wheel. Seems like a kind of a big risk for a pretty limited benefit, but technology continues to move forward, and has unquestionably raised the standard of living for hundreds of millions of people. But it's now gotten to the point, I think, where people don't really even have to leave their homes, right? We don't have to leave our homes to go to work, to be entertained, to get food, or almost anything else. Amazon can deliver basically anything we possibly need right to our house. Sometimes the same day we order it, which is incredible. I think we've become so entranced and dependent on our technologies that our devices even become our friends. They keep us company when we're alone. Maybe you've seen an ad for the new Google phone recently on TV, where the user is able to talk to their phone with a casual conversation. So not just asking it a question, the distance from Earth to Mars, but just talking to it like it's a person, a friend, a real person. We become so addicted to these devices that I think we feel like we check them constantly. I know I do sometimes. If I check to see what's happening in the world, and then 5 minutes later I check it again just to see if I've missed something that's happened in the last 5 minutes. But because we're so entranced with our devices and have them on constantly, that it has the potential to rob us of our humanity. Again, talking to our cell phone as our friend instead of actually having a friend to talk to. They rob us of our knowing how to have interpersonal conversations and connections with people. Essentially become less human. Years ago, my wife and I were down in Charleston for a family wedding, Charleston, South Carolina. And the day after the wedding, Sunday, my wife and I went, to church and then went to have brunch at one of those cute little hotels downtown. And we sat down and in walked, there was a big, beautiful wooden table there in the restaurant, in the hotel. And in walked about 12 younger folks that looked like they may have also been to a wedding in Charleston the day before. And, early 20s. Probably should have had the time of their lives. But you know what they did? Every single person, every single one pulled out their phone or a little, tablet. And they were totally engaged looking at their phones and tablets, maybe looking at pictures from the wedding or something, I don't know. But they weren't talking at all. And it was very sad to me. It was sad that I think if we're not careful, we may find ourselves unable to communicate with others, to interact with people, finding we prefer to just talk to our phones and our computers and so on instead of other people. So it makes me think that here in this new year, 2025, we're blessed to have so many wonderful technologies and the benefits of them, but maybe we need to start thinking a little bit about controlling our usage of them, learning to develop some discipline with them. I know there's a new trend out there of people for the month of January having a alcohol-free January, just to make sure that we are in control of ourselves and alcohol is not controlling us, kind of thing. Maybe we need to do something similar with technology, have a month or just learn how to put the technology away, how to turn things off, put them away, and don't let them completely control us every moment of our lives. In any case, I hope that you have a wonderful 2025. And I hope that I see you, maybe at church, and with your human presence, and best wishes for a great new year. Bye-bye.